So this is a little mini lesson in two very basic introduction level blocks. We're going to be looking at rising block and downwards block. This obviously is blocking against anything coming downwards, perhaps an arm attack, something like a downward side fist, downwards knife hand, if you know those techniques. There's also a kick called an axe kick, which comes up and down, and obviously we'd be blocking against that, though probably with both hands. We'd show you the double hand blocks again. Perhaps it could be a weapon, but again, more likely to use both hands than a single hand. But in reality, if you can at least get something up there to protect your head, perfect. We're also potentially blocking or protecting against the shoulders as well. So how do we do it? Let's have a very quick reminder. Fingers very tight together, little curl at the top, thumb to the side. This is the area we're keeping free. And from your guard position here, all we're going to do from here is we're just going to take the hand, we're going to start to turn it early, and the palm will go up towards the ceiling. Now, the arm is not fully straight, the head is open, you can see that, but also it's not bent in half. Look, the head's still there, we're going to get hit. So it's in between. We call it a 45-degree angle, so it's about that position there. And again, as we've done with other videos with blocking, that's our primary, our number one blocking tool. And this is our secondary or our second blocking tool. So from here, anywhere on there will protect you, though ideally we want to use the hand, we have more control, more grab afterwards perhaps as well. So from here we're going to turn, try and keep the hand in line with the centre of the head, palm up towards the ceiling, keep the wrist straight as you possibly can, try not to bend it, and try not to fully extend, do not keep it bent in half, just in between there, about 45 degrees, like a pitch of a roof. So let's have a quick go at this. Let me just show you how this looks. From here we're going to push up. Now to get a little bit of power, you can pull back slightly and push up, but only very slightly, because otherwise the hand will come across. Some people just push straight up, they use a bit of lift behind it. So have a go at that. I'm just going to show you from the side very quickly how that looks. Rising block, just a little bit of push. Try and push up there. Again, try to use it as a tool, as a sort of barrier if you can. So try not to push it out of the way, which a lot of beginners do. Try to lift it and keep it there. It's there to protect you. Hold it tight, tense it up, but obviously come back to guard quite quickly afterwards. So here it's a push up, hold. Once it's in position, leave it there. Don't try and push. Don't try and push it out of the way. So from guard position there, we're going to do a rising block from here back to guard. Again, speed and power is needed. So let's have a practice run first. Let's do 1 and block and back to guard. Ready? And 2, block and back to guard. Look up where you're blocking as well. No good looking down there, of course. Ready? And 3 and back to guard. And 4 and back to guard. Close those hands down. And 5 and back to guard. Good. Jump change. So again, quick reminder, fingers tight, thumb tucked in. Hand's going to turn, palm's going to come up, not fully extended, not in half, just in between, hand above the head, palm as close to the, up towards or facing towards the ceiling as you can. So in guard position there, so again blocking up and back to guard, so block, power, tense. You've got to get that impact on there, it's no good holding the hand loose. So again, tension and back, tension and back, tension. You just see I'm just pulling back very slightly to give myself a little bit more power there. Tiny bit of lift, but you don't need to pull back right through the body twist as you do with the other blocks. These two are slightly different than previous blocks. Let's do a couple more. Ready? And 1 and back to guard, and 2 and back to guard, and 3, keep looking up, and 4, obviously bring your eyes back to the centre after you've done the block, and 5 and back to guard. Good. With the fingers. So from guard position here, what we're going to do is we're sort of going to start quite high, start at shoulder level to get a big block, and we come right through the centre of our body and we're going to push downwards. So from here it's going to end up directly in between our ends of our hips here, and it's going to be right in the middle there, and you can see my left hand that I'm blocking with first, my fingers are turned to the opposite side, the right. If I'm blocking my right hand, fingers go to the left. Why? Well, we want to keep them out of the way. Either this way, they obviously would get hit on. That could obviously damage the fingers, bring them to the side. Plus we've got a bigger blocking tool there as well. Block against a knee strike, or a front raising kick, or a side kick, or a turning kick even to some degree. So from here, I'm going to lift, I'm going to push down. So you can see I've lifted high. Don't just go, But again, sometimes that has to happen. Sometimes you've got no choice but to quickly react, of course. But if you can get some power, some push behind it as well, pushing down, perfect. Don't obviously come too wide, of course, unless the knee has gone off target. but if you can, aim for the center there and back to guard. So strong, power, arm can straighten up fully and back to guard. So ready, 1 and back to guard. So lift, get a little bit of push downwards here. Let's go again. 2, look down when you block it. 3, back to guard. 4, back to guard. 5, back to guard. Try not to lean forward into it too much. Change position from there, and again, we're just blocking down. So again, little tip here again, if you end up letting the hand relax too much, the fingers drop forward, and it becomes a more dangerous blocking tool for you because your fingers are in the way. So I'm here pushing down, tiny bit of bend if you wish. Some people fully extend, some people keep it slightly bent. It's a little bit weaker slightly bent, but it does prevent the fingers from dropping forward. So you play around with both options. So again, 2, good. 3, look down when you're blocking and back to guard. 4, back to guard, and 5, back to guard. Good. Quick jump change. What we do from here is have a look at adding on a counter punch. So we've got our rising block here. Now, this is probably the only time that I recommend leaving the hand where it is if you're going to punch afterwards. Any of the other blocks that we have learnt or covered in any of the classes, the 3 outwards blocks, the 3 inwards blocks, a lot more body twist in those. And if you're going to do a punch afterwards, back to guard into this position here. With the rising block, and you can see with all those blocks, I brought the hand back into guard. As I start to put in the punch, the hand comes back to guard. On this occasion, with the rising block though, I'm going to get you to just leave the hand there, okay? That will keep their arm up, keep it out of your way, so you can get a hit in here then, okay? So what we do from this time is we're going to do the rising block, and you can almost start to get the punch, this little speed punch coming off the back arm, almost as the block is starting to sort of reach its maximum height. So as here, as you can see, I'm starting to turn my body, you can see the punch is almost coming through. You don't need it at the same time, but certainly one following the other very closely would be perfect. So it's 1, 2, boom, boom, here, 1, 2. Good, leave the hand there, get the power, get the hold, tense, punch, guard. 1, 2, and back to guard. Let's try a few more of those. Ready? 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. And good, jump change. So from there, we're just gonna try again. So it's 1, 2, and 3 from there. Ready? And 1, and 2, and 3. See how my eyes are going from here, looking at the block, looking at the contact, back to here with the second one, okay? 1 and 2. And just do a couple more. And each time back to guard, 1 more. Good. Just show you how that looks from there. Slow motion, 1, 2. See, I've got the body twist, go back to the jab cross video, and back to guard, okay? Let's try it now with a downwards block. And this is a very common combination that you would use in most martial arts programs. Simple, it's effective, it's the same counter punch or back arm punch following the block. So from here, doing the downwards block this time, looking down as you block, and start to bring your guard, on this occasion please, bring it back to guard position. Okay, so it's only this one, I recommend leaving the hand there. Okay, here, 1 and 2. And again, 1, 2, good. And again, 1, 2. Let's do a couple more. Good, jump change. So again, 1 and 2. You can see I'm starting to bring that hand back. I don't want to leave that side of my body open for any longer than I have to. So one important skill from this little demonstration here now is your return to guard. Apart from that block, your return to guard should be as quick as the block itself. If your block is quick, your return to guard should be quick as well. So it's 1, 2, let's try 5 of these. Ready? 1 and 2. I'll just slow it down a little bit for you. And 3, and 4, and 5. 2 more. Good, back to guard. Great, so very quickly in a very short video, you've covered 2 very important blocks of the 8 that we cover, and we put on a counter punch as well, something we tend to develop more at intermediate level. So we've made sure we've looked at the hand position, we've looked at the final finishing positions for both blocks and the start positions, how we return to guard, getting speed and power, get a little bit of body twist in that rising block as well. and how and why we put on that counter punch, that back punch, hopefully then creating two very nice little combinations for you. I hope that's useful. That's rising block and downwards block. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.